Hello, hello. Yeah, welcome to ICO Any%. We are playing the 60 Hz version today. My name is Mars, and I'm very honored to be joined by two very lovely people for my commentary. Maybe you want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you. I'm Beauty. I run the broken category of this game. Don't worry, this category is still really cool. It has really cool stuff in it. But yeah, I'm mostly here for emotional support. The expert here is Sancho.
Oh, thanks, Beauty. Yes, I also run this version and have some tutorial videos, and Mars has been my pupil, and I'm sure he will make me proud today.
The pressure is on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start the run, I guess.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a countdown, or?
Yeah, sure. Why not? If we're ready for the countdown.
Yeah. Okay. So Steimer tarts. Wow, that's a great way to start this run. Isn't it?
Yep.
Timer starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck. Did you preload?
Oh no, I didn't. So we're gonna lose some seconds.
Okay, so these first cutscenes on the PS3 version, at least, for real time, which doesn't really impact your in-game time, but Tic Tac discovered that if you have already skipped these cutscenes once, you can save about 6 to 8 seconds by restarting the game and then skipping through the cutscenes again. So we call that preloading the cutscenes. He did not do that, so we're already 6 seconds off of PB pace.
Oh man, what a start.
Restart the run. Yes, but this is the PS3. I don't even know what to call it. Sometimes I just call it a reskin because it's actually, you know, the exact same game. It just has nicer textures put on top of it. It behaves in every way the same as the PS2 60 Hz does. Peachy, do you want to explain the sound that they are about to hear repeatedly?
Oh yeah. So for this section and many sections later, you'll be hearing Eco just yell, "Wah!" You'll be hearing it a lot, especially here. And the reason why he's doing that is yelling makes you run faster for some reason. I think it's just the animation at the beginning. He does a tiny sprint that makes him go faster. But yeah, that yell works as two things. First, makes you go faster, but the main use for it is we'll see in a little bit a girl that will be our companion through the whole game. And she'll be the escort mission part. And and that yell is used to like call her to go places, to follow us, and it's also used to hold her hand. Just
the same button.
Whatever.
To drag her around the castle when she's not running to you. Yeah, we don't really know, like, the language here. It's kind of like a broken old form of Japanese, so you don't always know exactly what they're saying when you see the English subtitles. It makes it clear, but that actual wa, my new theory is that he's saying all I want for Christmas is Yorda. Make my wish come true. Anyways.
10 of 10.
So I saw, Beauty, you had a really good run yesterday.
Yeah.
So
unexpected.
I'm gonna take the part of having a really bad run today.
Don't say that.
Any bad RNG you have today is because Beauty hogged all of it.
True.
Now I feel bad.
Oh, it says the title on Velocity Online is still Crash Bandicoot. Just so you guys know, this is not Crash Bandicoot 4. This is Ico. Some people say Ico, but if you're following Japanese pronunciation, it's Ico. So, you say Ico, I say Ico, you say potato. Oh, I should do a parody song of that too. Alright, Bucci, your line is up.
Oh. I don't know if I'll be in time with when it happens, but how did you do that?
No, it's in German. You're
oh,
supposed
it's in
to
German. Wait.
Yeah.
I didn't practice this.
Yeah. Fun fact: Bucci should have a very unique love of the German, because on her channel, one of the fun things you can do is if you have enough channel points, you can ask her to change the language of the game she's playing. Someone asked her to change it to German, and that's when she broke her world record run. So she's run the game one time in German, and with stereotypical German efficiency, she beat her PB by around 2 minutes. Azuma, the only difference between Ico and Crash Bandicoot is that Ico is a good game.
Wow.
Wow.
Wrong thing to say with the kind of crash runner here too.
Yeah. It's fun though. We're a nice close family in our eco community, with our Colossus runners and Last Guardian runners. So we poke fun all the time. All right. So in this part, Bucci, what would you be doing here?
I would not be taking these staircases.
You wouldn't even see it. You wouldn't even see the staircase.
Yep. There's a door to the left, and there's a drawbridge that's not down. And you could just skip that part entirely. So
Yeah.
I just entered the door and skip all of this, but we're not doing that.
Yeah, super jump gets you across, normal jump gets you a death. So. I'm doing my best not to coach during this. So Bucci knows I have a hard time turning off coach mode. Lord, she knows I may have annoyed her once or twice with it. But we're just support. We're just support today. So you'll be great.
You can always coach me. No problem.
Well, you'll notice he was using the call to go up those steps. Some people like to do like these quick bunny hops to go up the steps. Nice jump to the railway, by the way. That was super gutsy choosing to do that during a marathon. It's not a hard jump, but if you miss it, it's a death. And you're only saving like 4 or 5 seconds doing that jump. But running up those stairs while calling is only a tiny bit slower than doing the bunny hops up those steps. And so we decided to start just doing the running call, because the bunny hops it can be really hard to make sure your direction is right. Once you've chosen the direction you're going to start bunny hopping in, you can't change it along that path. So you'd have to like readjust. It's just easier to call there. I'd like to point out that it's a really solid start. And the jumps he's doing here are not easy to time. And in fact, in my exhibition, I missed one of those jumps. So if we were racing, you'd be ahead of me right now, Mars.
Yeah, I think like all the movement in this game is like, it's not exactly hard, but it's really, you have to get used to it, because it feels kind of awkward in its own kind of way.
Yeah,
oh goodness, you didn't even do... Wow. You did another thing that I don't do, which is you didn't stop at all jumping onto that crane. I totally wait for the camera to finish swinging and lose another couple seconds.
Yeah, I was really afraid of missing the crane jump. It's really scary.
I'm super impressed that you did that. I do not do that in my runs. So
that is a drawbridge I was talking about. On power, well, 50 hertz. you can just jump over that while being down. Because 50 Hertz is very broken.
I'm glad you're saying broken and not better. But each run is fun in its own way and has its own different kind of challenges. If your Bucci's run, those super jumps, you miss them, and it's huge chunks of time. And with this version, it ends up being a lot more about how difficult it is to do the shadow skips. And a lot of times the RNG and the shadow skips determine whether or not your run is going to work or not. It's not as much about how technical you were in the other parts of the run. So I'll always call this my favorite puzzle in the game. I just think it was so clever to have this room that's like 3 layers at once, and you have to go through all 3 layers to find a way to get Yorda through the room. And Bucci, you'll be relieved to know he does not have to jump across the bottom.
Yeah. But I think I can go for the bomb toss.
Yeah.
Which I'm really not good at. So.
I mean, you only lose like 25 seconds if you miss it. So for a marathon where we're also just trying to show it off, go right ahead. Did a great job stumbling to the bombs below, which saved him from having to go down the spiral staircase. And the normal way to solve this puzzle is to take the bomb over to the pillar, then to light the bomb with the stick. But he's going to try and find a way to do have the bomb explode. Great toss, by the way, so that you're closer to the door after it explodes. And you didn't have to waste time dropping the bomb, going and lighting the stick, then going back to the bomb, letting the fuse, and waiting. So that saves like 10 seconds, 8-10 seconds when you do it well. But if you miss the toss, it's 25 seconds. There's so much of Eco that's like this. There's a very specific trick to do. If you get it, you save 4 or 5 seconds, or maybe 10. If you miss it, you know, your run is dead.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, once you've gotten to where you've had a really great run put together, that's how it feels. So, are we going to do a duet this time, Bucci, for the song here?
You do it too well.
Alright. So I just since all you're doing is running here, and the shadows spawn infinitely, so you have to get Yorda to the door to make it through this section. I just do the Benny Hill.
Oh, the shadow was really fast.
Well, there's only like a 3 or 4 second delay with the stream, so thanks to Velocity, this is making the commentating way easier. I got grabbed there where you turned the corner during the exhibition, so yeah, I'm glad we're not racing. I'm glad we're not racing. I had great graveyard and sewer skips though, so who knows. Now we pull these torches. I think if the game didn't feel janky to you your first time playing before this point, pulling the torches is where you realize this really is a PS2 game underneath. You have to just be so perfectly lined up, and if you start pushing while you're still waiting for him to just grab, then he'll start this pushing animation, which eats 3 seconds. Good job with the torches. That's not easy. That's very smooth torch section.
Yeah, usually I just struggle trying to get Iko to grab them even.
Yeah, I've gotten to a point where I basically try to ram his belly into the horns and then grab. and that's until I see him against it, then I don't even press grab. That's become my technique for basically any object Eco has to grab. Because if not, you're a half step away, and then you try and grab while you're pushing forwards, and it will grab quickly, and then he'll start doing that shove animation. You're like, no, I don't want this. All right, bomb toss number 2 out of 3 or 4, depending on... I'm going to guess 3 for this run, Mars?
Yeah, for sure. Not gonna attend the west area.
Oh, good Yorda.
Oh, she followed you. How nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really tricky thing to do. You want to be close enough to the bomb. This is my theory anyways, that even though you're trying to call her to run to you, you want to be close enough to the bomb that it activates her concerned mode, which usually happens like when you fall, and she'll just like run to you to make sure you're okay. And so we like doing it in this situation. And Bucci, what do you get to do here?
Get to do a big yeet. That's what we call them anyways. Yeah, in 50 hertz, you can launch yourself very high up in the air by just like abusing broken physics and mechanics and stuff. But
yeah, we've got to take the intended way to get up to the second cube, which is where Yorda was just standing. Great job placing Yorda on that pressure plate, by the way.
Yeah, thanks. It's really hard to not get jealous, like by the 50 hertz version. There's so many things. But the jumps are also very hard, so it's like a trade-off, I think.
Yeah. Although, I don't know if that one's hard, because I see Bucci do that one first try, like, almost every time.
Now all of them are hard.
Yeah.
I guess getting used to it. Whoa, that shadow!
Yes. Every once in a while, the spider glitches out like that. If we had enough time, it like that arc it does stretches like wider and wider, and pretty soon it will loop out and come back through. They grabbed Yorda, but that's fine. He's just gonna meet them at the bottom of the pool and pick her back up again.
Shadow taxi.
Yep. So that grab might have slowed things down just a tiny bit, but that was a really good graveyard. So, at least for me, do you think was that okay for you, Mars?
I would say it was like the way you want it to go.
Yeah.
Because technically it could be faster, but it's like happening 1 out of 100 runs, I would assume. So this is like the standard way for me.
I think
so I'm happy about it.
You have to control so many things at the same time that it's just hard that all of them
right
on the right way.
I'd say
and the RNG has to be right and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if Yorda has to run away from the shadows towards you, and then you like push the cube like 2 or 3 spaces, hit the shadows, push the cube again. Oh, here's a skip that I found a way to optimize. Ooh, Yorda's in a different position though.
I don't know. She moved, so
she
I
ran
don't know
back.
if it's gonna work.
Oh gosh. Well, being closer to the shadows anyways is still good here because there's a better chance. Let's see.
Oh.
What we're trying to do is delay Yorda coming up so that the other shadows will drop down. But of course, she's doing something we hardly ever see in this version. Still being scooted over, it worked.
Yeah.
So that was lucky. In fact, it was faster because Yorda came up without saying no, but the shadows still fell over. So once again, Mars, you're crushing it.
Yeah, Yorda is an angel today. Can't complain.
I think she hears Bucci's voice, and she feels comfort from that, and she just knows what to do after years of what's the right word to use here?
Experience, maybe?
Years of experience, yeah, years of building trust. I didn't want to use the word training. That seemed a little too harsh for a girl who was trapped in a cage. Now we're at the windmill, another puzzle that Bucci gets to skip with a super jump. Oh, Mars, I was holding my breath there.
All timed, no worries.
That was like 1 or 2 seconds away from you dropping. But yeah, I love that puzzle. And there again is another jump that saves like 4 seconds, but could kill your run if you miss it. And now we'll see if Yorda shakes her head no. Yep. And then you just have to reset. I like to reset and also walk a little further down on the screen so that it like lines up with her before she has to double back a little bit. But Yorda's never going to do everything right. I don't think. There's just something about how her AI is made. In fact, in the world record run, like that time could have been like another minute faster, but Yorda has to take her time tax away. All right, Bucci, can you explain this next skip?
Yeah, so Mars wants to keep Yorda at a very specific spot there. And when he gets up this chain, the shadows will start to appear. And what Yorda being there is going to do is, since the shadows are coming from the top part, it's gonna take longer for them to notice her. And so what he wants to do is go down this hole on the sewer and open the door so he can go out, get Yorda in, try to not get the shadows to get in with Yorda, and go out of the door. Because,
Ugh.
Yeah, she got grabbed, this was very unlucky.
Well, the good news was the gate didn't close on you when you came back in, which can happen, and then you could possibly actually lose the run there. This is a difficult dance to do with how how much attention to pay to that other shadow and when to pull Yorda out, because she's on a timer once she gets put into the pond. I feel like you handled that really well. But this skip is hard to do, and when you don't get it, it is quite a time loss. As you see now, Mars is waiting for the second shadow. You have to defeat 2 shadows here. If one goes into a pond, he comes back out at full health. And now we're just waiting. He spawns up at the top again, where they spawned originally. Good fight, though. And so we have to kill both of them before we can go back to doing the puzzle. Fortunately, this time we don't have to worry about where Yorda is placed. So I'd say, there's stuff you just can't control, and that was one of those situations where it's really up to the RNG, and I think you did your best in that situation.
Oh! Okay, Yorda wanted to come out of the sewer again. I think I'm a little bit ahead of you guys, but yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that was close, wow.
Yeah, you always have to wait like a couple of seconds there because she's in her afraid mode and she will walk towards you. So sometimes she is just gonna run out again.
Yeah,
which is really annoying.
You know, the thing about Yorda with the way her AI is even after all the shadows are gone, and even after the spider shadows are gone, sometimes it just takes her a little while to calm down. It's kind of like Trico after he's finished an armor battle. Like, it's just like her adrenaline's still running or something, and so she still behaves as if danger is nearby, and that can sometimes be a little frustrating. She tends to follow you when you don't want her to. And here's another place where Bucci skips stuff we have to do by just jumping up to a ledge that we have to scale a wall to get to. I'm curious, Bucci, if watching this now makes you even more appreciative of your run. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, in a way it does, but like I also at least for other games I run, I tend to go towards running the 100% categories more than the any percents. And so seeing more of the game is also very nice.
There's that difficult grabbing animation with the cube. Let's see how these shadows go. I had trouble trapping both of them. We tried to get them both stuck in the corner. Oh, that was brilliant, Mars. Holy cow. One of them squeaked away.
Went surprisingly well.
Yeah, one of them squeaked away a little bit. Yeah. And just a fun little technical note. The next shadow spawns after the little one dies. But the big one is the one you want to kill first because he has more hit points. If you can keep them both trapped though, then like the smoothest way to do this is as soon as that little one dies, the next one starts spawning while you're still killing the big one, and you don't have to wait for it to show up. And Yorda really likes to help here. A lot of times she'll climb up on that cube with you. It's fun.
Oh, there she goes.
Yeah. And of course, Bucci just super jumps over all of these puzzles, so she never even has to pull that lever. She instead jumps on top of the elevator we came up and then jumps across to a section that we'll be at in about a minute. Minute and a half. And you'll notice that Mars is choosing to scoot by hanging as opposed to by standing. And we timed it. If you were to just across this long ledge here, scoot by hanging, you go about 8 seconds faster across than if you scoot by standing. So the standing animation is faster, so it makes it look like he's going faster, but it doesn't cover as much distance. So that's how we realized that the hanging is better. Then I love those jumps.
That jump still blows my mind.
Okay, great job with the Squish Brothers, by the way, which is what I like to call the shadows that he just ran past. They can stand, they can squish into the ground and stay there for a while, they can squish into the ground and pop back up, and you're trying to figure out what both of them are doing at the same time and problem solve the best way to knock them over if they're going to come after you, or decide if they're just going to stay in the ground. So you can make it up that ledge without them knocking you over. And at this level of the game where you're trying to do everything smoothly, like, a lot of it is about figuring out how to get around corners you would get stuck on. So, like, just jumping up to the stairs instead of trying to walk to the stairs is tremendously helpful. It actually looks like a little bit of a goof, like, why did he just flop against the staircase there? But if you were to try and walk, like, just getting onto those stairs is one of the hardest things in the game. Like, it'll look like you're pushing against an invisible wall, and then suddenly you're climbing back down the chain, and you're like, why?
Oh, all right. There's Yorda.
She's not behaving for you, like she did for Bucci, her entire run. Wait, where is she?
I think she dropped down again.
Okay, oh great, we're gonna have to watch her. Yeah. All right. Can you zoom in? Can you zoom in on her? It's too late. Okay.
Oh, it's too late, yeah.
Okay, sorry. It is kind of cute. It does kind of have a little cute animation, though, like climbing up by herself, like both her arms flopping over onto something and then pulling herself up. You know it, like she hasn't used those muscles in, like, what, centuries? She may be a little atrophied. We probably shouldn't be too hard on her for how slow she is. And yet, she can carry a bomb faster than Eco. Okay, now we come to one of the cool things about the game is the ambiance, and all the scenery is just so nice. What do you like thinking about during this part of the run when you have a mental break?
Well, I'm being very afraid of the shadow skip coming up because it's actually my worst nightmare of all the skips in this game. It's like, in theory, it's pretty easy to execute, but I don't know, for me it's just not working most of the time. And it also is kind of RNG dependent, and it loses like around, I don't know, probably around 1 minute or even more if you're unlucky.
Yeah, I'd say I'd say if you're efficient, probably like 45 seconds, but for an average runner, a minute to a minute and a half is how much time you're gonna lose if we don't get that shadow skip coming up. Of course, Bucci doesn't even go to the back of this room, really. So, Bucci, you want to tell us again why your run is so great here?
Yeah, so there's a lever at the top of this room that opens the circular window that you can see on the right. And basically what you want to do in this place is open the 3 circular windows, and that will activate the reflector so the light can go through all of it and open one half of the door or activate it. And so since the structure of the reflector is on the right position, when you open the last window, which is supposed to be the first that you see, you can just skip the other 2. The cutscene triggers and everything's fine. So you just get to jump to the top, open the window, activate it, and it's all done. But on 60 hertz, you get to do all the puzzles and go through all the... Yeah.
Yay! And Mars was able to get the shadow skip. Great
Yay!
job!
I did it.
Woohoo!
Yay!
So that's what it's supposed to look like, Bucci. I didn't do it well a couple days ago. It's really just about that first shadow as Yorda's making up her mind when to go up the ladder. She usually takes about the same amount of time, but that shadow can get towards her faster or slower, and if he chooses to get towards her faster, he'll grab her, even if she's like 1 or 2 rungs up the ladder. So we skipped having to fight 4 shadows in that room, and they only spawn 2 at a time, so it takes a while to kill them, and they all take 7 hits. So you're talking about 28 swings of the stick that we were able to skip. So here we are doing it in the proper order. We opened that first window with the torches, and here's Mars opening the second one. And he's having to go pretty fast because we did leave Yorda alone, and if you leave her alone too long, she will get grabbed by a single shadow and pulled into a pull, and you'll have to pull her out of it, and then that shadow, you'll still have to deal with him. So this is the arena gate that goes up. That in the book, in the novelization, they realized, oh, look at this. It's like you can put people in there and force them to fight. That must be what it was made for, especially since it's called an arena. And I'd never even thought about that. It's kind of like an octagon in MMA fighting.
Yeah, sadly Yorda was outside of the cage. So it just takes like some extra seconds to get her over after the cage is dropped down again.
Yeah. It's really hard to manage Yorda there. I thought you did a great job. You got to figure out when's the right time to call her so that she's still running towards you, and she can still just be stubborn or get confused. You know, you're across the room and she's like, but there's this tiny ramp in the way. Do I go down it? Do I step over it? I don't know. I'll just stand here and wait for you to come down and call me again. There are like 3 or 4 places in this game where you're at Yorda's mercy to just come to you quickly or not.
Yeah, also I think this game is really notorious for like there's always something new happening every run.
Yeah.
Like something unexpected.
Yeah, I think
so yeah, it never gets boring running this game for sure.
It's true. Yeah, I've been running it since March. I probably have over 100 runs under my belt of like a full any % run start to finish. And yeah, even in your run today, I can't remember what it was, but I saw something I hadn't seen before. Oh, it was you successfully doing the darkroom skip, even though Yorda moved to you quickly. Good job with the double rope cuts. It's not as easy as it looks, but it helps to realize how far his back swing is. And now we are approaching. Would you consider, Mars? I'm curious. Your opinion matters to me. Would you consider this to be the easier of the 2 sky bridges that we have to cross?
Well, yes. I would.
So there's some symmetry to East Arena and West Arena. You'll see an area very, very similar to this, except when we get to West Arena, and we are going across these bridges here where Eiko and Yorda both have to be a certain distance away from the next cube for it to activate. There will also be 4 shadows flying towards you, trying to grab Yorda and knock you off that bridge, which will kill you and cost about 6 minutes in the run. But we're avoiding fighting 8 shadows to take that risk, and it's about a 95% chance of getting across safely as long as you make it through the gate. Would you say, has that been your experience, Mars, or would you make a lower estimate?
Yeah, I would think so. It's, in general, really scary.
Oh, you had a good Yorda on that elevator.
I think many runs have been lost to this.
Oh, yeah.
Particular to one shadow, who can be very trolly.
Yes, we call him Mr. Clippy because he likes to clip through the floor. Hopefully you won't see Mr. Clippy in this run.
I managed to beat him once.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the loudest I've ever heard you yell when you beat him. You were like, yes! It was like this huge release of tension and like frustration.
It was also on PB pace, I think, so I was like really happy.
Right, or we thought it was PB pace at the time.
We thought, yeah, right.
Your splits were doing something weird, so we weren't sure.
Yeah, but I'm also notorious for like being the worst speedrunner with splits, I think.
Hey, you got the ladder drop. Great job. And sorry that my comment was like probably 10 seconds after it actually happened. But that's super tricky. That's actually the hardest one to do of the ladder drops. But now, Bucci here, you just run Yorda from one end all the way to the other and through the door, correct?
Yeah.
And in this version, we get to see Mars. What do you call it again?
Same day Yorda delivery.
So we're going to, Eiko's not too much faster without Yorda, but by doing it this way, we're saving the time that it takes to load, pulling Yorda into the next room, and then coming back out into this room. So, yeah, we're just gonna let the shadows do the work of bringing Yorda to us. We're gonna trust that the tracking number that they gave us is accurate, and we're just gonna do our own thing. But we have to do it super fast, or like you have about 6 or 7 seconds in this room, minus the cutscene, before Yorda is just gone, and you have a continue screen. You made it through very smoothly, and now we just drop back down the ladder and wait for the package to arrive, and hope that there's no porch pirates. Oh, there are some porch pirates ready to take her from you.
But I would say it was a same day delivery.
Yay! You did a great job there. For a second, it looked like the ladder was getting in the way. the things in this game are bigger than what they seem, and the corners are really a lot clumsier than you'd think. Making it through that little spot is one of the most tense
So true.
parts of
If
the
you
game.
run the game, you will immediately know what he means by that.
Yeah. The video feed is a little laggy here. Okay, it's smoothed out. That's fine. Now we're cutting a rope in order to get that rope to fall to make it to the next section that Bucci skips entirely, about 17 minutes of the game.
Yep. All of these you never get to see.
Well, that's why we wanted to include you in the joy of this version. And so I was telling Bucci last night that we actually have to run through this chandelier room in this version 3 times instead of 2. So Bucci only has to run through it 2 times, and what you're doing now, she only has to do at the end of the game. But the shadows spawned about halfway across the side wall there, and these shadows are going to be in random places when we come back into this room a 3rd time, and it can also ruin a run. They can be in front of you, behind you. It's really annoying that it's so unpredictable where they're going to be. And they start moving before you can even see where you are. So it's kind of I'm not bitter that Bucci skips that. But yeah, she just jumps from one pull lever over to the other, and she's off to West Arena. Whereas we literally have to go around the entire castle, the entire side of the castle to get to the West Arena. It's a beautiful puzzle, though. Looks like Yorda's not wanting to keep coming.
Yeah, sometimes she gets like stuck under the bridge and just refuses to walk to us. So I haven't figured out a way to consistently skip this.
Yeah, because you can wait and call her earlier to try and get her over faster, but then that's time that you are not moving.
Yeah, right.
So it's not actually saving time, it just feels like it is because you're not actually waiting for her. So it's so hard to actually figure out how to optimize that spot with all the different ways Yorda can behave, especially. So we usually just, let RNG do its thing with Yorda and just go as fast as possible.
Yeah, coming up is my favorite jump of the game.
Yeah, it's such a clever skip.
It's like not a hard one, but it's so nice to watch.
Let me know when you do it.
Yeah, I just did it.
Oh, it's already done.
So
I was gonna do my slide whistle drop. Okay. Maybe next time. We'll find another place to do it. Okay. How about Ewok Village?
Yeah, we can do this.
So this is a very much a hurry up and wait section where all you have to do is know how to properly get Yorda on her fastest path possible. But we only and that jump right there only skipped like about 40 seconds of the game, maybe 30 or 40, as opposed to 17 minutes. I'm not sure, but I think the 17 minutes is faster. Ah yes, ledge detection in this game, so fun. And now we've got to admire Yorda's ladder climbing ability.
Yeah, it's a really relaxing section of the run. Coming up like before the West Arena, which is not relaxing at all.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have like a little relaxed section.
And as you lead Yorda up to that ladder, if you're holding down interact, it causes her to like snap towards you faster, so she can actually be standing on that ledge with you. And then when you call her up the ladder, she climbs up pretty quickly. But you did a good job with your placement of her too. And you have to be a certain ways up, or she thinks there's not enough room for her to get on the ladder. Like you have to be 14 or 15 rungs up. And And now it's time to read donations. Check her out, guys.
All right. Let me pull it up.
She's got legs. She knows how to use them.
Philosophy Online benefits the Movember Foundation, which researches men's mental health and suicide prevention, prostate cancer, and testicular cancer. Since 2003, Movember has funded more than 1,250 men's health projects around the world, challenging the status quo, shaking up men's health research, and transforming the way health services reach and support men.
I love how our hobby has become associated with so many neat charities.
It's really nice. I think the speedrun community in general is like a really welcoming and warm community.
Yeah, that helps a lot for sure. And like the people who watch as well.
Yeah. Super supportive. And honestly, they keep us sane, right? Because when we're speedrunning, we tend to be so critical of ourselves, and they're just, they're still in awe of our skill, even though we're picking apart like the tiny little things we're doing wrong.
Yeah. People will be super hyped. Oh, world record! Good job! And you'd be like, bad run.
Yeah. All right. So now we're doing a jump up.
Oh,
I'd do the slide whistle up if I could time it right. But I was late, so I'm just doing it when I see it. That pump jump in a casual playthrough is one of the most frustrating things. It's so hard to do if you don't know the visual cue for it, that you may think that's not actually the way to solve the problem, and you'll start exploring around, which isn't a bad thing, because then you'll find the hidden door. Any chance you'd get the mace for us today?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We don't have time for this today.
I couldn't help but ask. So there is a hidden door that you can push in that pump jump room, and then if you hit one of the trees, a ball of some type falls. I'm guessing it's made based on the way everything else in this game looks. I'm guessing it's made from like the bladder of some animal. It definitely looks like a bladder ball, but it's kind of a bouncy reskinned version of the bomb. And you literally play a game of basketball to get a mace to fly through a window.
And it's very hard, isn't it? It's like to get the ball in there.
You have to know the right place to stand. Good recovery on that on the watermill. That is not easy. We do a cool trick here where we just drop straight down, and here's where we talk about Yorda's compassion mode. By just dropping down and falling, she's ready to run to you, and so you don't even have to call her very much to make it to the next section. And Pete Dor found that out for us. So thank you, Pete Dor.
Yeah, this section wasn't as clean as I hoped for, but I think we're all right.
What? And here I was describing how Yorda was going to be concerned for you, and then she was just chasing birds. Bucci, did you say once that you've never had her chase a bird?
No, never. At
Really?
least I don't think I've ever seen her chasing a bird. I could be
Right.
wrong.
Part of that is just the nature of your run. Because I think in your run, the only place where she might chase a bird would be when you can't even see it happening, like in the sewer area, if a bird flaps down into there. So, but she does it in this area. She can run all the way to the back of that field, and you have to wait like 30 seconds for her to run back to you. Or she'll chase a bird when the stairs are going up in that first room, that before the drawbridge. This is another shadow skip where we're hoping Yorda just doesn't get scared as she runs to you. I'd say there's like a 10 to 20% chance that she'll get scared and you'll have to jump back down. How's it going, Mars?
Yeah, she got grabbed like for a split second there. It was...
Oh, I love that. It's such a little fake out. She's just close enough to zap them all. He's like, yay, I did it. Oh, I'm dead. And this area, we're actually going through here 3 times. You just don't realize it. Down below is all of the platforming that you do at the end of the game, like all the gears turning. You could point, the camera even points to it some. So that whole water section, they're teasing it right now, and that's one of the things I love about this game is how, oh, thank you for moving the camera. You can actually look at it and plan out your path if you want. But I love that the game doubles back through sections. This game does that, and so does Last Guardian, and I love that about both of them. Yorda, don't shake your head at me, Yorda. Doo-doo-doo. It's my understanding that I think Dark Souls 2 started doing some of its puzzles based off of like the inspiration from Eco, and that some of Zelda castles were inspired, like the puzzles in those are inspired by Eco. Like this game just trailblazed so much, and yet I still feel like so many people don't even know about it or know how good it was.
Oh yeah. The Shadow of the Colossus takes all the fame.
Yeah, those Shadow Runners, and their and all their swaggy strats. I mean, it is a flashier game. That's definitely true, and it is a great game. But this one, this is just more my jam, more of a comfy run, you know. And
I would say the game is also very beautiful for its time.
Yeah,
like it's really artsy. With the colors like being washed out and the landscapes and all the stuff. It's really well made. And
yeah.
I think the castle you're running through, it feels like an actual castle, like all the parts are there. There's no like stuff happening with loading zones or stuff. You're actually running through the different parts.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really nice.
Right. Yeah, it's not just filler, and they don't take shortcuts with their design either. Like there are parts that you can't see, but if you did look at them, the level of detail would hold up. And it would seem like it has a purpose. Like you could look at a door and be like, there has to be something on the other side of that door, just because of how well they did making it. And now we come to another RNG place where anywhere between 0 and 3 shadows will show up to harass you, depending on if they got caught in the underneath the bridge that we are now running on top. We're now above the section we were just in. We doubled back. We're going to the elevator, and when we get on it, 0 to 3 shadows will show up. You also notice Mars took a little bit of time making sure he was grabbing the very end of that lever, because this game is really great about the physics, isn't it, Bucci?
Yeah, that core strength. Just look at that.
If you zoom in, though, you'll realize he's not actually holding it. His hands are like grabbing right in front of the bar. It's really funny. But if he were to try and pull that lever from the inside, he'd have less, what's the word? Leverage? Leverage. Yeah, that makes sense. The English checks out there. And it would go slower, and it would take way longer. And also pulling is faster than pushing for some reason. Again, probably the core strength.
Also, scary jump coming up.
Say jump when you start the jump.
I already did it. I just know
Man,
it's like a
you
little
just
bit later for you
you
guys.
are just not committed to my slide whistle bit.
I'm sorry, I'm concentrating on the run.
Bucci, you can commentate from here on out.
Oh, no.
Oh, jeez.
Please don't do this to me.
Just kidding. I still have. Did you watch Bucci's run, Mars?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I should say I'm glad you're there, but I was hoping to surprise you with the song I'll do when you face the queen. But we'll still do it anyways.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just slide whistle
Wouldn't
denied.
be a
is
real
what Aiden said.
eco run without you singing.
Thanks. Bomb toss number 3. Again, we see the exploit. He's not even picking up a stick because since we can light the bomb just by jumping and then toss the bomb, and if you make the jump to the bridge at the right moment, then you don't even have to waste time climbing, but after the cutscene, Eco's already climbed up to the top. Oh, but that's what could happen. But the most important thing is that you got the bomb toss. Actually, the way it bounced around, I was a little scared for a second because it can it can bounce. What? Oh man, that jump, I love that. When you don't even hit the ground, but you just jump right to the plank.
Yeah, for me it's like I get it like once, like in 30 tries. So
yeah, I geek out every
really
time.
lucky.
Every time I see that jump. It's not a guarantee. You did a great job on it. It's a very difficult jump to do. This is a fun spot because now Yorda can climb up herself. So it seems kind of heartless, but for the speed run, you just kind of like, all right, you got this, girl. And we're going to do that to her 2 more times here, coming up pretty quickly. So there's 2 great chasms you have to get Yorda across. Knocking over the water tower made a bridge for the first chasm, and now we're pulling a giant cube out for the second chasm. And we're going to skip 2 shadows here by how we, again, kind of get Yorda to come to us quickly as we call her and then fall down to the ground, or down onto the cube. And we'll let her do the work of pulling herself up, because she actually gets up faster by herself than if you pull her up. So it's like, come on, Yorda, you can do it. But first we have to pull the cube over.
Here's the core strength again.
Yeah. And the jump after this cutscene is actually one of the more tense jumps, because you don't know where the camera's gonna be, and you're trying to jump as the camera's turning. Great job, Mars.
Yeah, thanks. This jump particularly, I was so afraid of it, so I never did it like in my first runs. But then Sancho just harassed me into doing it, start trying it, and yeah, it's actually not that scary if you get the hang of it.
Yeah, you just got to look at your feet and make sure your feet are running in a straight line, and you don't have to make a perfect jump towards chains. There's a little bit of forgiveness there. I've actually never missed that jump, but I still get scared every time I have to do it.
Yeah.
But the other option would be waiting until the camera swings all the way around behind you, and it takes its time doing that. So we've now made it to where Bucci would have been after jumping from one lever over to the other. And you're on a really decent pace, Mars, even though you got trolled in the sewer section.
Sewer?
Yeah.
Or soup skip, should we say? Miso skip?
We develop a lot of weird running gags, and that's our newest, I think. So someone said that area in Japanese is miso, and I was like the soup? And then someone said, let's call it the soup skip instead of the sewer skip from now on. So if you ever pick the game up again, Bucci, it would bring me a big smile if in your stream you refer to it as the soup skip. I mean, we don't know what that liquid is he's running in. In the book, that's actually a prison. And it just made me think, that's the one I'd rather be in the hanging prisons than in a prison where I'm up to my ankles in water the whole time.
That logic checks out, I guess.
I mean, imagine how pruny your feet would get.
But in this prison, there would be like a lever for you to get out. So
Yeah, it's not the best prison,
I guess that's
realize.
nice to have.
Yeah. The novelization does take some liberties. So that rope in particular, these two ropes here, are really hard to cut while running. I'm trying to be more efficient by just cutting them, just standing under them as quickly as possible and then cutting them.
Yeah, I try to go for the jumps, but yeah, they are really hard to get the timing.
Yeah, and you lose like... Yeah, you can lose like about 3 to 5 seconds that way, which if you miss on both of them, that's 10 seconds. That's precious time in a speed run of this run, especially if you're going towards the world record, which is insane.
Yeah, the world record in this category is all another story.
So again, in Bucci's version, she would have already jumped up and pulled the lever at the very top, and she's not going to have to... She wouldn't have to deal with the sky bridge that's coming up that we are going to pray to the RNG gods Mr. Clippy doesn't troll us on. We're really at his mercy.
Yeah,
I
at
do
least
like the
it's
sky
shadows.
bridges a lot. Oh,
Sorry?
I do like the sky bridges a lot, though. I kind of missed that part.
Yeah, the design of it, the idea of it, it's just cool.
I was just about to say this is like the easier of the shadow skips arenas. Because it's not that stressful and RNG based. But like Mr. Clippy just makes up for it.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah.
You're right though. So I would say it's because of the mechanics is you're just running with Yorda across the sky bridge, and so that's way easier than that shadow skip you did in East Arena so well, where you rushed her to the ladder and then tried to pull her out of the room before the shadows could get her. This one, you're just kind of walking in a straight line and pausing and waiting and just watching the RNG. So it's easier, but if you miss it, it's way more punishing. Because if you miss the East Arena skip, you just deal with those 4 shadows. If you miss this one, the game is over. They fly off with Yorda, and there's no way to go get her from that spot. That I know of. I haven't explored trying to jump anywhere safely, but I don't think there's a spot you can jump down to. Yorda blocking your way
usually
out.
you would just cry.
Yeah, or they knock you off of the bridge. We're hyping up the bridge. And now we've got to go turn the reflector, and you'll notice Mars left Yorda at the bottom of that waterfall, because just like in East Arena, we have to get Yorda up the waterfall. But we don't want to waste time having to drag her around to do all of this. And the reason we can leave her alone is because when we're out in this reflector area, it's actually the same loading area as Yorda. And if you're calling, you can even hear her tell you no from really far away. You'll hear this very far away, Yane. Usually as you run towards the ladder after the cutscene skip. And so we're technically with Yorda right now, which is why we're able to quote unquote leave her alone for so long, because she's not alone when we're outside. And so we're gonna keep tabs on her. We checked on her there, and we're gonna check on her again when we turn the water off. But we still have one more thing to do to get her back through, because in this one you'll notice as he climbed up that chain that there's this we've got to get rid of that wood that's in the way. So Mars, what's your plan for getting rid of that wood this time? There's several ways you can do it. The fastest way is probably the riskiest.
Yeah, right. I will probably go for the jump right before, but I'll go for the safe method with the bomb. Because it's technically faster to throw the bomb, but if you miss it, it really loses the run. You have to replay the whole west section.
The whole west arena, yeah. Yeah,
right. So really don't want to do this in a marathon.
Yeah, and if you choose to do the bomb toss instead of what he's going to do, you're only saving 8 seconds. So you're risking the entire run to save 8 seconds. But I love this jump here, though, the one down to the bridge. So he saved some time with those 2 jumps there, and that will give him plenty of time. No stress on lighting this bomb. There's some, I don't know if the programmers did it intentionally, but there's something about if you do this whole section the intended way, where you have like about 2 seconds of leeway to light that bomb before Yorda gets grabbed, or for the bomb to explode before Yorda gets grabbed. But when you do those 2 jump skips, the one he did to the stairs and then down to the bridge below, it gives us a lot more time to get her. And where's Yorda? How close was she to you, Mars?
Pretty, I would say. She got all the way up.
Oh, good,
that's
good,
nice.
good. She can be right at the door, or she can be all the way down at the bottom, and that's that can kill your run too, because it takes her about. She could just be like, "Hey, I'm saving you 10 seconds," or "Hey, I'm costing you 20 seconds," and we have no idea what to do to get her AI to be closer. All right, Mr. Clippy, you'll have to. Yeah. So he's the one floating down below. You could see his wings flapping underneath, and then he chose not to click through the floor. Like, yeah.
He chose to not troll us today.
Yay!
That's very nice.
Yes. So, 4 different shadows. Good job.
That was very good.
Yeah, that was super splendid. Something fun that I think we learned from an old Japanese run is if you light the second torch instead of the torch closest to the elevator, the stick will go out right as you light it, and so you can immediately light it again, and you don't have to swing the stick to extinguish the light. So it saves you like 2 seconds or 3. But if the light goes out because you didn't get there in time, then you lose a lot of time.
Why does every skip in this game?
You got double drops.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's the method he's using is the one I've tried to be encouraged for the PS3 runners, which is to do a straight run towards the ladder, and then to jump as your feet get right next to the edge of the rung that bends over to the floor, and jump right as your feet reach that part. And usually, if you ran straight, Yorda will drop down. It's harder in East Arena because the camera is swinging more, but in West Arena it's a pretty consistent skip. I probably get it 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah, and it's like really worth it to like take a couple of seconds just to set the drop up, rather than missing it, because Yorda will climb up the ladder again to get her purse.
Yes, yeah.
And this really takes a long time, so yeah.
Yeah. And if you lined it up right, even if you missed the jump, a lot of times it puts her in the best spot to then climb down on her own. But if you're going at an angle, she may like walk around a little bit. So yeah, Mars, we've done, except for the second chandelier room, which now Bucci gets to see what I was talking about, how the shadows can be anywhere. You've made it through all of the difficult skips, and the rest of the game, except for the 53 shadows, is almost exactly the same. And you've really gone through the hard part of the run really well. This has been a great run.
Yeah, it's like after the West Arena, it's always like time to get some air in and relax, because like the worst things are over, basically. I mean, you can still pretty easily lose the run, as I have shown like a couple of days ago.
Yeah, but the save points are good enough that in a marathon it's not going to get you a mercy kill. But yeah, you can still mess up on the platforming. There's still several jumps that will cost you a minute or 2 if you miss them.
Right. But you're going to see the whole run, so we got that going for us.
Yay! And now, this is the great part, because the first time you're playing through, you think, we did it. We beat the game. Because they did such a good job in the cutscenes of pointing out what you were doing and what you were trying to do, and you're like, yes, the gate is activated. Let's go. And then here Yorda is so weak that we have to like take these pauses for her to catch her breath so she doesn't stumble.
Yeah. Also, the cutscene is going to be really loud, so
okay.
Just take care, guys.
Get ready, everybody. And here is the saddest part of the run. Because we have to say goodbye to our companion. And I'm not talking about the girl. Poor Stick.
Rest in peace.
No. I love the turn here because up until this point, Eco's been the one doing the grabbing and the pulling and the saving. And now she's the one who somehow, even though she's, you know, on the verge of death, has the upper body strength to pull him up. Oh, Stick, we miss you already. And there's Karen.
So that's a official name?
Yes. And then,
Okay.
and then she's saying thank you, but I like to think she's saying 4-4 sailboat lizard-eating seagulls. Direct translation. Splat. I defy anybody to prove me wrong that that's not what she's really saying. So these jumps right here aren't that bad. For newer runners, you can use the rivets. You can like follow those rivets to make sure you're on the right line as opposed to looking at what you're trying to jump towards. Oh, there's something about that middle jail. It's really hard to grab the top of that one and then land your feet on the next one because of how it swings. It almost feels like RNG. Bucci, do you feel like you've been able to get it consistent?
50-50, I would say.
Yeah, that's about right.
Same for me.
And yet, I mean, if you miss either of those, that's like, what, 6-7 seconds of climbing up. It's pretty annoying. I love this part. I love how fun it is and how there's no RNG to it. There's no shadows. There's no Yorda. No birds.
Yeah, in this part, it's really all about your movement. And like executing of the things you have to do. And there are some scary jumps and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah. That ladder, I remember casually how hard it was to jump and grab that ladder. Like, if you jump straight at it, the game bounces you off of the wall and back onto the floor. And I think it was between Karakusa's run and Bucci, the way that you do it, that I realized it's easier to grab that ladder jumping at an angle than jumping head on.
Oh.
Is the camera trolling you again?
Yeah, the chain is just messing with me. Oh, wow.
Restart.
Chain. It's the hardest thing in the
reset.
entire game.
Wah, wah. And you can even say, okay, I know how I need to adjust, but then the camera's actually in a different spot the next time. It's just so hard to see. And when you start climbing and the camera pans out, you're like, is that where the cube was? That doesn't even make sense. Like how it looks like further away.
Yeah, it's a very awkward camera angle for that jump.
I don't even know how they intended it to be done. Like, or if there was an intention, if they just made sure, okay, it's possible, we're good.
That's probably it, yeah.
Ooh. I don't know if that was in time, so I wasn't going to do the actual slide whistle. I was probably still late. Almost. In these rungs, you got to watch out if you grab too close to the edge that he's only holding on with one hand, it will drop you and at an awkward time. So Mars, are you going to do my patented 2 swings? Only 2 swings on the first chain?
I don't think so.
I don't think you've even tried it yet.
I did it one time in a run and it failed, and since then I was like so afraid.
It's easy. All you have to do is watch the feet. When his feet start to spread out, that's when you do the jump. Okay. I was more doing that as a tease because I know he's not ready to do it yet. But the most efficient way to do these chains is to not climb at all on the first one, but just jump to it. Do 2 swings and jump to the next one. Climb up 1 rung and then do 1 swing and jump from the next one. And you do that and you're actually doing it faster than the world record run does it.
I actually did it.
Oh, you did?
Just to show it off, yeah.
Yay, thank you!
But it really gives me the creeps.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because you catch so low. Thank you, Mars. Wow, okay, you were just throwing away a whole minute of your run for my sake there if you had missed that. I would have felt really bad. This takes a while to figure out the timing of grabbing these things as they come across. I think
I'm
everyone
also really
has
taking my time, yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, because you missed that, and again, it's a minute. You've got to go all the way back to that first water thingy. I think everyone has a slightly different method for how to get it.
The
Good
camera
jump there.
Jumps is also very awkward, especially for this last one.
Yeah, you did those perfect. Those were great. Woohoo! We're out of what I call the water world section. Everyone has their splits named differently, and in Eco, a lot of us come up with fun names for them. What do you call this cliffs area? Mars?
I think it's like the Master Sword split for me.
Yeah, because of the Queen Sword?
Yeah, right. And that, the one before is just like Water 2. It's like a really bad example of creative names.
Maybe it's the snake who has the other names, but is it you who named the sewer skip on your splits? It never works.
Yeah, right.
That's such a great name for it.
I remember starting to learn the game and it would just not work for me.
That one and the graveyard skip are so hard to learn at first because you're still just learning movement and how to cope with the camera swinging around. After a while, it becomes second nature. You just know what the camera does because you're used to it. But before then, it's just a big mess. Great job with the cliffs. You did both of the difficult jumps, especially the swag one to the pipe well. And now we've got one last section of danger, which is just platforming down this giant tower.
Yeah, I think this game has the perfect ratio of intense and relaxing parts. So it's overall just a really nice run.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I think probably the most dangerous trick in this is the dropping down to the idle doors that we do at the very end. But the hardest part of this is trying to run across that rock without jumping over it.
True.
It's the real challenge.
I just jump over it now because it doesn't lose you too much time. But if you just try and run, it will shove you and make you stumble, and Thank you, Mars, for showing us that. I appreciate that. So people can know what it is.
Yeah, that was on purpose, of course.
That rock is it's just like, why is it even there? It's just such a troll in the game. This jump here is automatic. You just jump as soon as you started going down the ladder, and then the last one, yeah. Since you take the slow method, there's no danger at all. It's just making sure you're in the right spot. If you miss that door, you die. So this game is very, very...
don't want this.
They knew, like, they calculated how far he has to fall for a death, and they did a really good job designing that level to try and make it so that you can't cheat. But those idle doors, still make it possible. Now are we trying the scene skip for the sword? We call it the air kick skip, because he's the one who found out that as you climb up the stairs, if you try and grab the sword, you can grab it without activating the cutscene, where he picks it up and goes, "I have the power." No, I should have used my kazoo for that. Oh well, lots of lost opportunities in this run with our Foley, with our sound effects.
Yeah, maybe we can hear some like instrumental play from you in the cutscenes.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Sure, I'll be happy to. But first, I've got to do a better job. I did a really bad job of the good, the bad, and the ugly song for Bucci's run. I'm gonna try and see if I can nail my notes a little better. I was half laughing through it. I didn't even I skipped the whole last measure because I just couldn't finish. So whenever the queen says "Vart," would you tell me so that I can do the song on the recorder?
Okay, I will.
You won't have much to do, so hopefully you won't forget that one. Now this is really... I enjoy this part of the run, even though it can be a complete run killer, because we've got to kill 53 shadows, and we want to do it as quickly as possible. So there's this nice spot. There's actually 4 places you could choose to do this. We like this one the most, where you stand by this staircase, and as they drop to you, it cuts off their retreat, because the way you're facing, they want to chase behind you and not in front of you. So you're coaxing them to drop down behind you, and then you can swing at them without them being able to fly away because they're stuck. It's a brilliant... whoever found this first, probably... I don't know his name, but... Muget might have been the first one to find this method, but... it saves so much time. If you try and chase these shadows, they're just so squirrely. So we just make them come to us. And you can do this in 4 places. You can do it on this side or the opposite side of this stairs, or you can do either of those 2 spots on the stairs on the other side of the room. We like this one the most because it's the easiest to check for shadows that are glitching. And anytime you'll see Mars, if he finds a moment where there aren't any shadows coming at him, he'll pan his camera over to the other side just to make sure none of the shadows are stuck. Because they'll kind of get stuck in this running animation and not actually be moving anywhere. I don't see a lot of shadows right now.
I think no one is stuck right now. But you never know for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to say because okay, yeah, you looked over. Yeah, it looks good. It's hard to say because as you kill them, other ones spawn, but each one is spawning from kind of a different location in this giant room. So it's hard to say if 5 of them are coming at you or 6, and that's how you would know if one is stuck, but it looks like there's 6. Yep, there they are. This fight's going really well.
Yeah, it's going well. I just imagine like playing this casually. Mm-hmm. You probably won't stop in one spot and you're just being around chasing 53 shadows. It's gonna take ages.
You know, I think they're kind of like programmed to become like the AI gets a little dumber the longer you go after them. So it won't take forever. At some point they become a little bit easier, each one does. Possibly. That might just be my imagination. But I think your first playthrough, you're just happy you can kill them in one swing.
Yeah. You really have to be patient. You really have to have patience, like to not miss a swing.
It's just this high, but at the same time you're wondering, like, is this endless? or is it actually going to stop at some point? So we got rid of all of them, and it activated the staircase that Bucci was able to skip. She skipped this whole fight with her sword jump. All right, let me know when the queen says wart. I'll see if I can do a better job this time.
No.
Yes!
Amazing. Really nice.
I only missed one note. I'd say that was almost as impressive as your run, to be honest.
Sure. I would
No,
think so.
not at all. Not at all. Just kidding. Thanks for humoring me. And now we're just trying to slice the blasts. You got the first one. Good job.
That was very good. Really, every time you can deflect these waves is good to just save time.
I don't know what is, but the timing is insanely hard.
Yeah.
At least for me. I just can't get it.
That was scary. That was scary.
Did that give you flashbacks, Bucci?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe you were like one step further away in that exact scenario. Like you went towards the stairs and then it was below and you were searching for it. Fun times. Of course, we were on a 30-second delay at SGDQ, so all I heard was I was like, Bucci, are you...
That's a very accurate.
I was like, Bucci, are you okay? All right, and once he
feels bad.
Yeah, because it shouldn't happen, because the sword's in the same place every time. But you can get highway hypnosis here and just forget which one you're on.
Yeah,
It's
I'm gonna be honest. I kind of forgot that the sword was dropping like way back there, and I was like running to the left, and I noticed, and I ran back, and it was really close.
That was exactly what happened to me. Queen's dead. GG.
Woohoo! Mars, this is gonna be a sub 138. That's really, really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this technically could be like a PB for me.
Let's see. We didn't have any death screens, right? Let me look at your.
I don't think so. I think my PB is like 138.08.
08. Yes.
Yeah.
When a 133.57. There's a chance, and now we'll just be doing the. Oh, what if the sewer skip had worked?
Oh no. Yeah.
But there's
I have
a
to say it was a really nice run for the marathon, so I can't really complain.
This is on pace with your PB, whether it's a few seconds below or above. That's ridiculously awesome, and it proves the point which I've been saying to you for like weeks now, which is don't restart a run just because you failed the sewer skip. The rest of the run can still be saved if you get better at the mechanics. So.
Like when I first started to learn the game, I would reset for every little thing because I just wanted to get it right.
Mm-hmm.
And Sencho was always like watching my streams, and he was like, "Please don't reset. Please go work on your later sections." And I was like, "No, I don't want to." And it went the way that I was getting really good at the beginning section, but when it came to the later sections, I was really bad.
That's the main thing that happens with that. No reset runs are good.
Yeah. I think for Bucci, that's part of what's made her so good at the game, is because I think that last section, it's easy, but if you're on a PB pace and you're not very familiar with it, it becomes so nerve-wracking. All of those jumps on the cliffs and in the water section especially, because you're just like, this jump will ruin the run! This jump will ruin the run! So I always practice that section like all the time. So, yep, that's coach mode just kicking in again.
Yeah, also for everybody who doesn't know, like we are watching the cutscene, the end credits right now, but it's not exactly the end of the game. You still have to play like a little part after the credits. So yeah, we're gonna just sit here for a couple of minutes, I guess.
Yeah, which is why for my streams, if I didn't have a death, I tend to do some sort of parody song or some kind of song to keep us distracted, give us something to do. Do I have time to use the bathroom before time? Yes, you do.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty turn long.
Yeah,
this is usually time I use the bathroom in my streams.
Is it time we could read our donation?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
sure.
We've got like
Best time.
probably 8 minutes left or 7 minutes left.
We've got $4 from Anonymous, who says, since this charity benefits mental health, let me benefit everyone's mental health by getting the donation total to an even $1,260.
That's amazing. Thank you. Also, yeah, big shout outs to the guys organizing this marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since it's their first one, I think, organizing, and it just went so well. Like, you can't complain. So big shout outs. And thanks for letting me play the game here.
Yeah.
And it's also a big honor for me, like, getting commentated by Beauty and Sancho. Because your run at, I think it was Summer Games Done Quick, actually got me into speedrunning this game.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Beauty, he's our son.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Just proud.
That's another fun thing we could talk about. You know, at the point where we'd reached SGDQ, we'd seen an increase in eco runs submitted from 9 total to 18, and then since SGDQ, we've had like 5 or 6 more runs submitted since then. So people definitely got the bug. I was getting PMs, maybe you were too, Bucci, from people saying, "Hey, I'm gonna start learning the run. Thanks for."
Yeah.
So that was really cool. It's a shame the PAL version is pretty much region bound and technology bound by having to be run at 50 hertz.
Yeah, but if this run maybe got you interested, we have like a really, really nice and awesome Discord with really, really welcoming people. So feel free to join. And I think we are always up for some questions, or if you want to contact us.
Yeah, and if you go to speedrun.com... Wait, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I just was saying it's a possibility.
Oh.
Nothing more.
Yeah, and if you just go to eco on speedrun.com, you can find some tutorials and guides, and also a link to our Discord. So feel free to join us.
Also, since we have the time, like coming up next is another great run, Shadow of the Colossus by Tic Tac.
Woohoo!
It's a really great runner, and if you have some more time, grab some snacks and watch this run too, because it's gonna be really awesome.
He's doing hard any percent. That's so intimidating to me.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch that.
Bucci, you've beat all 3 games though, correct?
Yeah.
Would you ever speedrun either of the other 2?
I think if I were, I would probably try Shadow of the Colossus first, but at the moment I'm not really feeling like learning anything new.
Yeah, I get that. But you've already got one Yorta AI to deal with. You wouldn't want to have to deal with Trico on top of that from Last Guardian.
Yeah, but like if you're interested in like starting to speedrun this game, I would say it's really easy to get into. And it has a really high skill ceiling. So I would say it's really nice because it's easy to learn, but you can like really put a lot of effort into your movement and stuff to like get better at the run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really enjoyable, like the learning process even.
Yeah, I'd say the best way to start would be going for the platinum trophies.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Because that makes you run through the game trying to get it in under 2 hours. You'll save at benches to try and do that. There's a lot of guides out there for just for getting beat the game in under 2 hours. It helps you explore every section. You get to do the lightsaber and the watermelon ending. It's good fun. So that's if you're doing the PS3 version. But yeah, it makes me sad because if you want to play this game and you don't have a PS3 or a PS2, like PAL or non-region bound version to run the 60 hertz, like you can run it on PS4 through the PS Now, but you can't download the game. So you're basically playing it remotely, and the lag it makes it impossible to do a competitive speedrun on. Boo.
Indeed.
And I really don't see, every once in a while people will say, oh, Bluepoint will remake this one for sure, but I really don't see that happening, as great as the game is. I don't think marketing-wise, I don't think they could justify it, sadly.
Yeah, probably true.
At least they haven't forgotten about it. The Astros Playground game on PS5.
Mm-hmm.
It has a section where I think it's a screen that has bot written with the eco font. So that's really nice.
Whoa, cool.
Okay.
There's a couple of bots that pretty much work just like they look like Yorda and Eco, and it's so cute.
Oh, yeah.
So I kind of have my hopes up, but I also don't want to, just in case it never happens.
Yeah, it'd be great, but I'm not holding my breath. But it would be awesome. But that's just a testament to, like, this game came out in 2001, and it was so groundbreaking. And a lot of people who are game makers and game developers now played this game as a kid, and it blew their minds. And so many people still point to this game as being a primary influence in wanting to make games and in the games they make and their level designs and stuff. So, and just the minimalist, that there's no health bar or other things on the screen. It's just you, and there's other games that are kind of like that, like Rhyme and Journey.
Yeah, and I really like there's like really a small amount of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like pretty quiet, and Yorda and Eco are just like talking through their own like words.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to understand each other, and it's like really nice. It just fits the game. Great game.
Oh, I have a really dark question I'd never thought of before. So, now that they've escaped, does anyone else in the world still speak Yorda's language? Or is she just gonna have to learn the boy's language and never talk to anyone in her native tongue again?
That's a good question. I know. Also, time is coming up when I talk to Yorda.
All right, I'm ready.
So no.
What?
Sorry, the stream is a little bit behind.
Yeah.
So
but
let's take a look for the in-game time if we have the time.
the in-game
It's
timer
always
says
interesting.
1:37:31, but
Okay, but the in-game time
early, I
sometimes tells a different story.
Yeah.
I think it was closer to like a 1:37:50 real time, just based on. But I honestly don't know, because there's delay from the video feed through your feed,
Yeah, right.
and I don't know when they started the timer.
I think we may have started a bit late. I ended it at the right time, correct?
Okay.
I think. But yeah, we can look
Okay.
at in-game time real quick.
Yeah, it won't take long. PB.
That's actually a PB for me. I can't believe it.
Yay!
Yeah, that's
Great
awesome.
job.
Yeah. So my PB was 33:55, I think. So we saved a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it was 33:57.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah,
Awesome.
that was great. Good job,
Nice.
man.
Yeah, thanks.
Way to go. I don't know who your coach is, but he's going.
Yeah. Okay, I think we're done here. Thank you so much for letting me run the game. Thank you so much for the commentary.
It was a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
Bucci, it's always a pleasure to ever collaborate with you. So thanks for joining us too.
Well, thank you for letting me join. I'm not as knowledgeable on this category as the other one, but it was fun. The one was very nice too. Good job.
Yeah, good job, son. We're proud of you.